Last week when Rich and I kept watching the news and the Facebook blogs and social media was exploding, we felt very, very convicted in our own hearts that we just couldn't come and do Sunday church as normal. That as a community of people that follow Jesus, our motivation to have a conversation around what does it really mean to follow Jesus in a time where the races are at war with one another. What does reconciliation work look like for us, for VCC? So we want to be about the things that Jesus taught us to do, and things that actually don't come naturally for us. For many of us, the work of reconciliation doesn't come natural. So we have to practice these things in order to allow God to shape us and guide us and empower us. So today we want to listen. There's a lot of injustice in our world, but today we want to posture our hearts, our minds, and practice listening to someone else's experience of what it means to be a Black man in America today. I met Arif through my friend Lars, who plays poker with me on Monday nights. And last Monday we talked about the poker pastor, and if you weren't here, there's a recording. You can go to the podcast on our website and listen to that conversation. And it was interesting because on Monday night, Lars is of mixed race, and we began to talk about what the things that were happening in Ferguson, and I asked him, what do you think about this? Like, you're mixed race, you're half African American, like how do you experience the news? Like what happens for you? So we ended up having a great conversation, and then I invited him to come and speak. And Lars said, you know what, I know somebody that would be way better than me to speak about this. So let me introduce you to Arif.
I know someone a lot more angry.
Yeah, that's what he said. He did. Way more angry. He goes, you should read his Facebook post. And I said, so I looked you up and stalked your Facebook page, and then we met via Facebook, and that's Arif. Gursel is here to talk with us today. So I want to just start with just asking you, can you just tell us about yourself? Just give us some background, autobiographical.
Sure. I was born in Chicago, raised in New York City. I went to school in Tuskegee, Alabama, rural Alabama, and then moved to Seattle, Washington about 12 years ago. So I've been a Black man in every part of this country. and each has come with its own experiences, but also with the same kind of common trait.
How do you know Lars?
Lars and I went to high school together, so we ran track together in high school in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, New York, okay. So just tell us a little bit more about you. You were raised in Chicago. How old were you when you moved to Brooklyn?
Moved to Brooklyn when I was 4. My entire family was still in Chicago. My mom and I moved to New York after a divorce with my father. So I did the whole single mother, New York City kid thing, all the way to high school. From high school I went to school in Tuskegee, Alabama, studying architecture, and later switched to computer science. Got an internship with Microsoft in 99, 2000, and spent the last 12 years at Microsoft 2000 and 2012. Went back to Chicago to do my MBA in Chicago, University of Chicago. Came back after finishing that to Seattle, started a few technology companies here in the area, so I'm a serial entrepreneur. Do a lot on the startup side, which basically means I spend all my money trying to make more money. It's really weird. And now I'm at Zillow, doing some more technology work.
So I really just want to ask you, through your eyes, tell us what you're seeing in Ferguson. You get the mic.
My perspective of the whole situation is you are seeing the culmination of hundreds and hundreds of years compounded, exploding again. I was listening to a lot of the things that you said starting the service, and I think the one about not having an honest conversation, and when you have superficial conversations, they're just superficial fixes, and they're temporary. And I look at civil rights in the 60s was a temporary conversation. Everyone likes to